What's going on, everybody? Oninoyama426 here, and welcome back to the next installment in my hardcore ARK Ragnarok series. If you haven't seen days 1 through 20 yet, I strongly recommend that you go back and watch those first. With that out of the way, let's get into day 21 to 30. I have 3 main objectives I would like to accomplish over the next 10 days. 1. Raise the wyvern egg I stole from last video to gain absolute air supremacy. It will help me in removing threats and carrying bigger dinos to trap and tame. 2. Build an industrial forge to increase my metal smelting ability exponentially to make crafting items much easier for the rest of the series. 3. If we can, I would like to tame a creature for running caves in order to get all the artifacts needed to summon the bosses. I don't really have a schedule for the caves other than I want to take on the Ice Queen at day 50, but I should start in the next 10 days. I spent all of day 21 prepping to get a crucial resource for raising the wyvern: wyvern's milk. Wyvern's milk is the only food a baby wyvern will eat and can only be obtained from a live female wyvern, as the males will give you something less than appetizing. Wyverns are dangerous enough on their own, especially on hardcore mode, but if I really want to own a king of the sky, I have to trap, trank, and steal the milk from a female wyvern. One other thing about the wyvern's milk is it spoils very quickly, so I will need preserving salts to keep it unspoiled as long as possible. I also had the bright idea to incubate the egg for a while before I got the milk, so I could simply hatch the baby and feed it right off the bat after I get the milk. After placing approximately 15 standing torches, I lit them all up and started incubating this massive chonker of an egg, which will take 30 minutes at a constant temperature to hatch without damaging the egg. While the egg was incubating, I decided to farm as much metal as possible from the nearby mountain to smelt in my refineries, as I would need 2,000 ingots for an industrial forge. I also restocked the refineries on spark powder to keep them running. I also spotted a nearby 147 female tech parasaur I could pair with Gerald to make tech dino babies, which I can murder for resources. So I tranked it out and shoved it full of berries. After about 26 minutes, I decided the egg had incubated enough and packed it away until I was ready to hatch it. After a little resource gathering, I crafted preserving salts for the milk. With everything I needed crafted and accounted for, I set off during the night to locate the wyvern trench. I briefly stopped to collect a drop and hopefully craft some cryopods, but I just decided to do this. After that disappointment, I found a green drop that I also couldn't collect because it was in a rock. I finally came across a white drop I could access and crafted some cryopods up. If you don't know what a cryopod is, it's essentially a Pokeball for dinosaurs. After getting thoroughly lost in the dark, I decided to land and wait until morning. While I was eating some Cheez-Its, something I didn't expect happened. I quickly grabbed my controller and had no other choice than to combat the wyvern, as I was nowhere near high enough to glide away. The battle was long, but I came out the victor. I waited the rest of the night, more alert this time, and when the sun rose, made my way to the trench. I picked out a flat spot near the trench to set up the trap, and got the materials out of speed. The credit for this trap goes to Captain Fat Dog. Make sure to check out his channel for all sorts of tips and tricks for ARK. Once the trap was finished, I made sure I could fly through it, and then set out to find a female wyvern. I'd hoped for a low-level wyvern that wasn't a lightning, but in the nearby area there was only a level 69 lightning wyvern. So that's what I went with. I got its attention and booked it for the trap. It tickled me a bit with its breath, but I managed to get it into the trap on the first try. If I hadn't, I would be in a KFC bucket right now. I made sure it couldn't hit me, and then proceeded to load it full of tranks. Once it eventually knocked out, I quickly grabbed the milk from her inventory and sped off before she could wake up. I had what I wanted, which means it's time to hatch that egg. As soon as I got back home, I popped the egg back in the torches to finish its incubation, and it finally hatched. Look at that little guy! He's adorable now, but he'll grow up to be a killer of epic proportions. I shall name him Bane. It takes about 3 in-game days for a wyvern to fully mature, so I had some time on my hands. I spent most of it on a project I'll reveal shortly. I also decided to place a sign down and officially dub my house Casa de Onion. I also named that tech parasaur from earlier Circuit. I took Tanky out again for metal. The next 3 days were a blur of resource collecting and crafting for something very special for when Bane comes of age. I did mess around with scissors for a bit though. I decided I need to have a more specific look to my character, and that look would be an afro with a stylish mustache. Of course, cutting your hair makes you bald for a few days, but I can wait. I messed around with dyes too, but as you'll come to find, I didn't record it. But my armor is now black and blue, so that's pretty cool. As a cherry on top, I was once again visited while recording. Oh, I wasn't recording any of that? Shoot. It's okay, I was just collecting resources.
Put it in. I like the plot so far too, how like all the masters of the servants are like okay and normal, and then one just murders children.
Yeah, just a random psychopath.
And then he's with the one that's like, yes, let's murder more children. What is happening over there, man?
It was a little weird how they made King Arthur a girl. I thought that was a little weird. But
I'm fine with it. She's pretty hot.
That's true.
It's also because, like, if they'd made her a dude, which they might have, I mean, it would make sense if they did, it would be all dudes, and they'd just be like, it's, you know.
They should have made the magic user a chick, man. That would have been hot.
By a chick who also is into murdering children. Perfect.
You know what? That's a good first date.
So like, what do you do in your free time? Oh, I like kidnapping and murdering kids for my sacrifices and spells. Oh shit, really? I'm down.
Me too. That's so weird. We have so much in common.
Oh no.
Anyway, after 3 days, it was time. I tested out fully grown Bane. Bane was certainly worth the time spent raising him. By now I was actually really close to being able to craft the industrial forge for my base. I only needed one more resource to finish the job, polymer. And fortunately for me, there's a frozen lake near my base that is chock full of penguins, which give lots of polymer, especially the children.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Oh my god.
Come here. I'm gonna eat you.
Wait, no, again.
Yes, consume.
Why? They were just children. What if you just killed like the penguins of Madagascar, bro? Just there.
Then they're not the penguins of Madagascar because they can do anything.
I guess they are penguins of Madagascar. They can never go to Madagascar.
These are penguins of ARK, bro.
Oh, and remember that big project I was talking about? This is it. I made a landing platform attached to my house just for Bane, because he's my special wyvern. After murdering the entire penguin population, I had enough polymer to craft my indie forge. And to be honest, I forgot how big it is. So I decided maybe it could also function as a chimney of sorts for my house. Not too bad, huh?
It's kind of cool looking, actually. I'm gonna keep that. Alright.
Now that the industrial forge is complete, it's time to accomplish our third objective, get a caving dino. My base is located near the Cave of the Ice Queen, and I heard you can find high-level dire bears and good loot drops there as well. So I started crafting fur gear to venture into the snow and the ice cave. After killing a couple snow creatures on Bane, I had enough pelt for a complete set. Eventually, I found the entrance to the cave in the side of the mountain, and ventured in for the first time ever. On my first loot crate, I already got loot a million times better than anything from the drops outside. It just got better and better, and eventually I was rewarded with a Mastercraft long neck rifle with just over 200% damage. That means twice the tranking and damage power. I tested my new rifle out on a level 300 bear in the ice cave. A ridiculous level considering wild dinos can only go up to level 150, which should have tipped me off there, and I could have avoided 2 more days of pain. But alas, I am stupid. First of all, I tried to feed this bear meat. I learned after this that you can't tame dire bears with meat. You need giant bee honey. So I thought it's an honest mistake, and went on and got honey from those beehives I found in the first video in the swamp. I crafted more trank darts and took a bear from the cave and put him in my trap to trank out safely, which I did. But again, he didn't tame at all. I was struggling to figure out why when it hit me like a truck. I forgot you can't tame cave dinos because they have buffed stats and levels. So I wasted about 80 tranks in a day and a half for no reason other than to learn, I guess. So I eventually found a dire bear I can actually tame, and brought it back to the pen for an easy knockout. Don't worry, it actually worked this time. When the bear woke up, I named it Winnie. I finally achieved our third objective at the very end. I might try to run a cave in the next 10 days, but I think I want to focus mainly on starting to make our army to fight the bosses. Starting breeding and taming for bosses early on is important. Alright guys, that's the end of day 21 to 30, so thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, drop a like and leave a comment, and I'll probably name one of my boss fighting dinos after you when we get there. That's all I have. Have a wonderful day.